Hey, this is my first time going live on YouTube, so we'll see how this one works and if we enjoy it or not. But I know that if you tuned in for the video that I did yesterday, you are ready to stop feeling stressed and overwhelmed all the time. And all the work that you did yesterday on your calendar is the first step toward taking you for you. I want to feel organized and like I have my stuff together at home. And as a mom, why are you talking about office? Excuse me. Nope, I'm not talking about where you work. I'm talking about your mom office. What? You need a mom office. And I'm going to hold off on telling you what that is for just a second. I'm Casey from the blog The Real Thing with the Koch family at realcoke.com. And I know most moms feel stressed and overwhelmed much of the day. So I created the Real Organized Mom email class to teach moms simple organization systems that create freedom in their home, which gives them time for some things they enjoy, like a little crafty fun, or to tackle that DIY that you've been wanting to tackle. I'm so sorry. So what is a mom office, right? Let's get there, right? Okay, it is a space that is dedicated to you and keeping you on track and organized. And it does not need to be a full room or a huge part of your house. For example, in my house, it is just a little pass through that I have. Why need a mom office? You know, all the work that you put in yesterday on your calendar. Without creating a mom office, you really honestly might as well not have even done the work you did yesterday. So, because you know those creatures who call you mom? Yeah, guess what? They're going to have papers and appointments and activity schedules and everything for the full 18 years you're their mom. And if you don't create a space and a way to deal with all those papers and schedules and things you have to sign and all that stuff, all that work that you did on the calendar yesterday is literally going to do you no good. Yeah, you, and it's honestly not going to do you any good. So what you need is a space to deal with all that stuff. So for example, for myself, in my mom office, I have a planner, and that is all I have. Now in my planner, I have some sticky notes, and there's a pen attached to my planner, and I have little pocket folders in my planner also. So while a planner might sound really simple, it genuinely has everything that I need, and I'll explain that a little bit more in just a second. But if you feel like a planner isn't enough space for you, or you just want a different setup, you could choose a little desktop file organizer, and you could have a different file for each of your kids. You could have a file for your bills. You could have a file for any committees that you're on or organizations that you work with that you've got things to do with. And keeping all those things, having a landing zone for them, a place to put them. You could also do a little desktop organizer, and it might have a slot that a planner could go in and a slot for some pens and maybe for some sticky notes. Again, the point is to put things in your mom office that you know you need in order to take care of the things, the papers and all that stuff that your kids are bringing to you and that you're going to deal with. So let's go through the steps for today. There are 3 steps as usual. And the first step is to decide need to, it can be a tiny little space, but you need a dedicated space so that when little Sophia comes to you and says, ooh, I got the reading Olympics schedule today, and here's the dates I have places to be, you can say, go stick that by my planner, and your child will, and Sophia will know what it is, and she'll go put it there, and then it's safe and it can be dealt with at a time that you're ready to deal with it. All right, so step 2, you're going to put the things in your mom office that you need to, and only those things, nothing extra. Okay, so like I talked about a minute ago, for me, that's some sticky notes. I use pens, and I use a little pocket folder to put the papers in as the kids give them to me. And then get to how I deal with that in just a second. So if you're somebody who wants to put your bills in there, because maybe you use paper bills and write checks still or something, you might want to put stamps in your mom office. So, or if you are constantly like stapling a check to a permission slip for your kid for school stuff, maybe a stapler needs to go in that area. So just trying to give you some examples of what I mean by only having stuff that you need, but you want stuff there because when you get to the point, step 3 of actually using it, you want to have everything there to make it simple and easy so you're done and you can easily use what you need to use in that area. Okay, so I've already kind of said it, but step 3 for you is that you now need to use your mom office, which is genuinely the hardest part because this whole thing is very easy. And oftentimes where we fail to continue to be organized is in the execution, in that maintenance part. So that is why I consider it the hardest part. So what you need to do in order to actually use your mom office is to create a system for yourself. And I haven't said this yet, but I do go more in depth in all of these things in the Real Organized email. So to get more depth and to get more information, go ahead to shop.realcoke.com and get yourself signed up for the class, because I know you're absolutely going to love the information and the reduction of stress and feeling so much more confident and in charge as a mom. So, all right, but I'm going to keep this simple here, and it's simple there too, but I'm going to just pare it down. All right, so to create a system for your mom office, I'm going to recommend, like I've already said, that you put all those papers and schedules and appointment cards and all of those things into your mom office during the week. Just don't even worry about it unless, as your kids are getting used to this, they bring you a paper and they've had it a while, I'm sure. Like this happened to me this morning. And they're like, hey, you need, this is due today. And, okay, but they will learn over time, unless they're 16 like mine, and then they may not. But they will learn over time that they give it to you as soon as they get it, and you will deal with it on the weekends or whatever day you have set, okay? So once a week, you're gonna go through everything that has accumulated, all those papers, the calendar things, the sign up for this, you gotta sign this paper, all of that stuff. You're gonna go through it all just once a week, okay? And I want you to do something that I think is kind of hard sometimes, but it's what really needs to happen for this to really work for you. Take care of everything. Everything that's come in for the week, take care of it. Don't leave something behind. Okay, if we leave a couple things behind this week, then next week we've added more to our work. And if we keep doing that every week, it really begins to snowball right now. We just don't. So please, for your own safety, for example, bring cupcakes to Sophia's class on the 10th. I want you to actually put that on your calendar. And then I also want you to make a note of it on your calendar about a week ahead or the weekend before, depending kind of when you tend to run your errands. Like I do most all my grocery shopping on Saturdays. So I would put this on the Saturday before I needed to bring cupcakes to Sophia's class. And that way on Saturday, when I'm already running errands, I get the cupcakes, I have them, and I have not only scored bonus mom points because I remembered the cupcakes, but I saved myself from having to run around Tuesday night before the cupcakes were due on Wednesday trying to find plastic. So, okay, let's see here. I've got notes because I tend to forget. So, okay, next, how much time is this going to take? Because it might feel a little overwhelming to begin with. And I know for most of us, time is a big stressor because we feel like we just lack time all the time. So I'm going to guess that when you get started doing this, it is probably going to take you an hour a week. And I realize 100% that sounds awful and like a lot of time. But here's the thing I want you to think about. You know how when we make changes with things we're doing with parenting, and oftentimes it gets worse before it gets, because the kids are kind of testing, and then they're like, I see, they actually mean it. I guess I'll move on to test something else, right? Well, this is kind of like that. It's gonna feel worse before it gets better. And I know from personal experience, like this year, with us doing our road trip this summer, nothing got taken care of and it was just all chunked in my planner. And when the kids went back to school in September, it was a hot mess. And it did take me a while. And it probably took me a month. I just would take little chunks, and a little extra here and a little extra there to try and get stuff caught up. And it probably took me a month. And now it takes me maybe 15, 20 minutes to get stuff done. But initially, that was not the case. So it's one of those things if you put a little bit of time in up front and then you keep it up and you keep going, like I said, excuse me, where you're taking care of everything every single week, you're gonna see the payoff and it's gonna get to be super easy. And your family will have learned all of this as well. And so then they get used to the system that you're using as well. And then that always pays off really well. Okay, so if you find an hour to be unbearable or just impossible to sit through, do what I taught you yesterday, where you're breaking your task up. Use your timer, set a 15-minute timer, work as hard as you can. If you have to, lock yourself in the bedroom or the bathroom, except they usually seem to find us there, right? So maybe not the bathroom. But and just don't watch TV, don't do anything else. Just concentrate on all the papers and stuff that you need to deal with and get caught up on. And then if you can, maybe later in the day, do another 15 minutes. If you can't, just hit it again the next day for another 15 minutes and keep doing that until that week's papers and things are taken care of. And then the other thing I would say is often I think we get stuck in this feeling like this is torture because, who really wants to sit and go through schedules and sign papers and write checks for the kids' activities? I mean, it's just not necessarily the most glamorous thing on the planet. But if you can picture what freedom and peace, like, skip it, I'm done with this crap. Picture that freedom in your mind. Picture what that looks like, what that feels like. And as a mom, I want you to picture. And so it's actually just a trick to use. They visualize themselves running the race and winning. And we can do that same trick as moms. We can visualize ourselves getting through this paperwork and feeling caught up and feeling that like weight off our shoulders and that nice release of feeling that stress and pressure. So try that, see if that helps as well. And as with all of these videos I am doing for you, there are more details, there's pro tips, there's bonus ideas, all about creating a mom office and all the other yeah, right? Other subjects that I cover in the Real Organized Moms class. So if you want access to all of that, head over to shop.realcoke.com and add the Real Organized Mom email class to your cart. I know you are going to be so glad. It is such a small amount of money that I charge for the class, and it is so worth your sanity and learning some more of these systems that I have learned over the years that save me time and allow me to do some fun things that I enjoy and just take a break instead of feeling like I am running on that mom hamster wheel all the time. So I will see you again tomorrow when I will bring you another system from the Real Organized class. So I will see you then.